Hi, welcome back to my channel and thanks for watching. So in this video I'm going to be doing a review of the Geo Court II. This is my most recent barefoot shoe purchase. They are made by the brand VIVOBAREFOOT, but I bought them from the Revivo website. I've talked all about Revivo on my channel in the past. This is where I've bought all of my barefoot shoes from apart from one, so they're refurbished and second-hand. I'm also going to be briefly touching upon the typical characteristics of barefoot shoes, so if you're new to my channel or you're new to the minimalist shoe movement, hopefully this will be helpful for you if it's something that you're interested in. I'll also briefly explain, I guess, why I decided to transition over to barefoot shoes. If you do get value out of this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate your support, so let's jump right into it. Okay, so today's video is kind of a double video. As I said, it's going to be a review, and then kind of the second half of it is going to be more technical things about barefoot shoes. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is showing you my most recent barefoot shoe purchase, or minimalist shoe, or zero drop shoe purchase, and that is the VIVOBAREFOOT Geo Court II. So I'm going to make sure in the mirror behind that you can see these. So this is what they look like. So they are very much like a court tennis sneaker. They're a smart casual pump, and I will be honest, if you've already checked out my channel or you've watched my barefoot shoe videos previously, then you'll know that I have had a bit of a struggle trying to find pumps to replace my conventional ones with that I like the look of. So VIVOBAREFOOT tend to be a really good brand for a variety of different styles, if that makes sense. And I will be honest, I wasn't particularly keen on these when I saw them on the Revivo website. The colour I wasn't too sure about, but actually I'm really glad that I bought them. As with every pair of barefoot shoes that I've reviewed, they are super comfortable. I have also mentioned in the past how I have had to return a lot of pairs, but these I'm really happy with. They do a Geo Court kind of just standard, which was, I imagine, the first one that they ever made. So then this is the 2. They also do a Geo Court Eco as well. I also own a pair of Geo Racers, Geo Racer knits more specifically, which I haven't done a review video of yet, so it can get quite confusing, all of the names. So these are a women's UK 6, and I will say that in terms of sizing, they do come up a little bit bigger than my other size 6 barefoot shoes from VIVOBAREFOOT. So that was quite interesting. As they are used and refurbished, like I said at the start, I bought these from Revivo. So if you are familiar with my videos, then you'll know that that is where I have gotten all of my barefoot shoes from, apart from my first pair, which I bought brand new from VIVOBAREFOOT's main website. So yeah, they've been refurbished, they're previously used or pre-loved, and they refresh them and refurbish them and make sure that, you know, they're in a good enough condition to sell. So they sell them in different grades, and then they sell them on at a discounted price. So this is something that I really value, because as somebody who's trying to lead a more sustainable life, also I don't like to buy things new wherever possible. So yeah, I'm really enjoying kind of that aspect of Revivo, that you can buy shoes that are already, you know, in circulation, they've already been produced, which then leads me on to mention that these are leather. So again, if you've watched my channel in the past, you'll know that I always say in all of my videos, because most of them are leather, my barefoot shoe videos. So as a vegan, I'm still happy to buy leather shoes on the basis that they are used, so they're secondhand. So, you know, they've already been produced, they're already in circulation. I feel like it is really helping to kind of tackle the waste problem that we have, especially with fast fashion. So yeah, that's just my personal opinion. I know that it can be slightly controversial. Everybody has different opinions, but I would never buy leather new. And like I say, I also try not to buy new things in general. So yeah, that's enough rambling. So yeah, they're kind of like a tennis court sneaker, smart casual pump, which I think is really good. It's really hard to find brands that offer this kind of style. Slightly overlapping with what I said I was going to do in the second part of the video, they're super lightweight, they're really flexible. Obviously they're zero drop soles, and they're thin soles as well. The toe box, as you can see, is nice and wide, so it's flat down the big toe side, which is the natural shape of the foot, and then it gives lots of room here on the little toe side, and then kind of comes in, follows the natural shape of your foot, basically. So yeah, I mean, I've got the other one here. And I do actually have with me the pair of conventional pumps that they are replacing. So I always like to try and, if I still have them, show you a comparison in my videos, because I have almost entirely transitioned over to barefoot shoes. So if you're new to my channel, approximately 8 months ago, I bought my first ever pair. So my old previous mainstream normal conventional shoes, I've sold them or donated them, and I've almost entirely transitioned over to barefoot shoes. So I like to try and, if I can, keep hold of a pair of normal old ones, if that makes sense, to give you a comparison, because I think that's really helpful if barefoot shoes is something that you're new to. But yeah, just to show you a real difference, I hope that you can see this. So you can see that the conventional normal shoe goes into a real V-shaped point at the end of the toe box, whereas these are super wide, and like I say, they follow the natural shape of your toe, which is really, really important. That's why conventional shoes are so bad for your feet and for your toes in particular. So they're really pointy. This is not the natural shape of our feet, you know, our toes aren't like birds' beaks like this. They're also generally narrower as well, so the barefoot shoe, you can see just in general, even up the side of the foot here, is also much wider, but it's more noticeable in the toe box, the difference. In terms of weight, I guess I'd say they're fairly similar, but you can see here these are a fashion shoe, so it's like that platform kind of style. So the sole is really, really thick, and whilst you can slightly bend them, they're very rigid. You know, there's no flexibility. This really thick sole is just a great big lump of material that shouldn't be in the way. It's taking us off the ground unnaturally. I guess the only similarity is that they are actually zero drop, ironically. So zero drop means that where your ankle sits, or your heel, sorry, and the front of your foot sits, it's level. So yeah, that's one of the benefits, which I'll move on to briefly. So yeah, they've got this logo here. They've got almost a slight separate panel here. I know with the other styles and other colours that they do, this back panel is kind of two-tone effect, and I actually prefer that this is all one colour. I also prefer that the logo is not coloured either, or has a coloured outline. What else can I say about them? These happen to have bio insoles in them. I'm not entirely sure. Well, I don't know whether all of their Geo Courts come with bio ones. But yeah, this is the insole that you can remove and you can wear it without. This is made from plant-based materials. Super comfortable, as with all of the insoles that I have from Vivo Barefoot. So I've got bio ones, I've got natural ones, which are kind of like a cork. I've got thermal ones in my boots, recycled ones as well. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with them. Like I said, I was very unsure about the colour. I was a bit worried that they looked a bit too, what's the word? A little bit, I don't know if it's chavvy is the word, if anyone's going to kind of get what that word means, but a little bit too sporty. I kind of prefer a more, not hippie style, but a more alternative indie kind of style. And I was a bit worried that they looked a bit too JD Sports, or yeah, Sports Direct kind of thing. If you're in the UK, hopefully you know what I'm referring to. But I'm really, really happy with them. They are a real kind of all-rounder shoe. They go with everything that I have in my wardrobe, so they surprisingly go really well with linen trousers and maybe slightly more alternative clothes that I didn't think they would suit. The colour, I'm not sure if I did say it at the beginning, is limestone, so it's kind of like an off-white, slightly cream, which again completely surprises me that I own a pair this colour. But I really love them. They're pretty dirty already. I've only worn them a couple of times, and I've literally, yeah, lived in them for the past week since I bought them, to be completely honest. So these were a surprise to me. It's not a colour that I would have usually gone for, just because on the basis that it's more difficult to keep clean and maybe slightly harder maintenance. But yeah, I'm really enjoying them. They are very, very comfortable. And so I'll move on now to kind of the second part of the video, which was to discuss the general characteristics of barefoot shoes. I won't take too long because I've mentioned it in lots of previous videos, which I'll also link in the description box down below for you. So the four main characteristics of barefoot shoes are that they are more lightweight, they are zero drop, The toe box is much wider. Generally the shoe also tends to be wider as well, and they're also a lot more flexible. So you can't usually do that with a pair of conventional normal sneakers or shoes. The benefits of barefoot shoes kind of speak for themselves. So like I was showing you before with this conventional pair, they're very, very narrow. They're very restrictive. They don't allow for the toes to spread naturally. This big, thick, rigid, heavy, chunky sole affects our balance, you know, our natural balance, our natural ability to feel the ground beneath us. There's sensory receptors in the bottom, in the soles of our feet, that send messages to the brain to kind of figure out, you know, how to stand and how to walk and how to balance ourselves. And if you imagine you're almost kind of that much off the ground, it is going to affect all sorts of parts of our body in general, if that makes sense. So the zero drop effect also means that you haven't got like a heel, which is setting your foot at an angle off of the ground unnaturally. The toe box being my favourite characteristic, I think, because it's definitely a huge reason for bunions and things like that, is that we've been wearing shoes that are really restrictive and too narrow for us for years, which kind of just blows my mind in a way. Now I've transitioned to barefoot shoes, like how did I ever wear conventional shoes for so long, and how is it so like socially acceptable when you see, you know, people's feet get deformed, and we just kind of seem to put it down to normal ways of life. I don't know, but yeah, I'm really in love with barefoot shoes. It's a journey I've been on, like I said, for about the past 9 months. I'd say I've been exclusively wearing barefoot shoes for the past 6 months, just because at the beginning it took time to transition and also clear out my old shoes and make way for these. They're also very expensive, so I couldn't do it all in one go, so it has been a very progressive journey. But yeah, that's briefly why I decided to transition to them. I came about barefoot shoes through a channel that I follow that's completely unrelated really to barefoot shoes. So Yuam at Heal Your Living, she is a vegan minimalist, and she also talks about mindfulness. So it was an unexpected place to hear about barefoot shoes, but I'm so glad that I did, and I've really been enjoying making videos about barefoot shoes and sharing my journey with you guys. I was really surprised at the positive reception that my barefoot shoe videos have had, and I kind of think it's great that people are taking more of an interest in it, and that barefoot shoes is becoming a bigger movement. It's really great. You know, it's really important to look after our bodies. It's really important to look after our feet. Barefoot shoes allow for our feet and the muscles in our feet as well, and our toes, and just our posture and our balance in general, to all just work naturally as we are supposed to, you know, within reason. You are still wearing a shoe with a sole. You know, it's most of us don't have the ability to walk around barefoot, sadly. It's something I wish I could do. So they allow the toes and the feet, so the toes to spread more naturally, and the feet to move more freely. Also referred to as minimalist shoes because you don't have that same amount of chunky material that you do with conventional shoes. So that's kind of where the term minimalist shoe or minimal shoe comes into it. And then they're also called zero drop shoes. So like I said, with regards to not having a heel, or the foot sits flat on the ground basically. So they have different names. I'm really enjoying the journey. I think that it's one of the best lifestyle changes that I've made. But as with any major lifestyle change, you have to do it gradually. Make sure, you know, to do your research. Hopefully videos like these on my channel are helpful to you. I really hope that they are. Make sure to subscribe and also like this video if you are enjoying it. So yeah, that's the Geo Court II. I will also be doing, like I say, a review video of my last purchase, which is a Geo Racer knit. I mentioned them in my minimalist shoe collection video, which I did just recently, which I'll also link down in the description box and here or here. I hope that you've found this video useful. Please let me know in the comments section if there's anything else that you'd like to know specifically. I'd love to chat with you about barefoot shoes, or if you're already experienced in wearing them, or if you're a newbie to this new kind of journey, then yeah, I'd love to chat to you. Make sure to give my channel some love as a small content creator. I really appreciate your support. And in the meantime, take care and stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.